One of the biggest misconceptions that I find is oftentimes when people think homelessness, they're just thinking about that guy they see that's sleeping underneath the bridge, that has mental illness. Children are the #1 population group that are homeless in the United States. Homeless children end up being homeless adults if there's no intervention. I think there's a really unique opportunity here in Fresno to attack these problems in ways that aren't really being done across the United States. My name is Matt Dildine, and I'm the CEO for the Fresno Mission, and one of the people behind our new city center campus here, located at the heart of Fresno. And I actually worked as a practicing attorney, a partner in a large law firm here in Fresno for just a little over a decade. While I had a very successful legal career, one of the things that became more and more difficult for me to look at was the problems that I was seeing around our community, the issues of homelessness, the issues of kids that were exiting foster care, the issues of food insecurity, right? Or we're doing things that nobody else in the country is really doing to solve some of the most challenging issues. We get so many people coming in just feeling like they're the worst people in the world, that they're a product of their mistakes. And one of the things that we really want to do fundamentally from a faith perspective is to reverse that. We want to be with you there in that mess and to really help you see the person that God designed you to be. We want to give you the absolute best to people who sometimes feel like they're the least. The first sign that people see is right above our front door, and it says "No perfect people allowed." It's not a temple for all the holy people to come. This is for people that are broken, that are lost, that need help, that have flaws, that want change, and that's what this place is for. We've opened up city centers that served over 35,000 unique individuals, and it was going to pull together all these different nonprofits, ministries, agencies, and schools onto a common campus that were going to focus on helping families and youth that were in crisis. So we have everything here from a free grocery store. We have a youth drop-in center dealing with foster youth and human trafficking. We have a medical clinic, a mental health care clinic, a coffee shop, offices for more than 20 different organizations, a charter school that has an emphasis on homeless and foster youth, crisis housing specifically for families and youth who are aging out of the foster care system, and a bunch of other things that are really add to the flavor here. So a couple years ago, we decided to do this event called Conversations on a Bench, where essentially I sit on a bench for 24 hours and I live stream it, and people come up from all different walks of life just to have conversations with me about some of the challenges that people were facing. So last year we did it again. About 400,000 people from around the country engaged, over 60 different news networks engaged with Conversations on a Bench. I think principal takeaways that I took from it, one was the number of people that came up that were really just on the line between being okay and then falling into a situation they never thought possible. There's so many people who came up and were just like, I didn't really do anything wrong. I know that I'm just a life logistic or two away from being like evicted or being on the street or having to take my kids to go sleep in a car someplace. The number of youth that came up. I would say my first 3 to 5 guests were all youth. They were in the ages of 18 to 21 who had been in and out of homelessness and the foster care system. They all had reached a point where those foster placements were no longer available and they were just out on their own. And there were young kids that really just didn't know needed help getting through life, and they just didn't have that. And those particular youth, one of the reasons they were able to come sit with me is because they've been receiving services here. That City Center had been their port in the storm. So about a year ago, it was really cold outside. We have places where we put people when it's too cold outside so they don't freeze. It's called warming center. And we pulled this family in that was sleeping outside, and they had 4 young kids. The dad had just left, he abandoned them. Mom was going through some mental health issues, deep mental health issues, and I remember after a week or two, able to get them into our family center, a place where they had their own room, their own bathroom. This video surfaced where the mom was really savagely beating the kids. And there was a teenage son involved too, and he was in the video laughing and taunting. And over the course of this year, that mother has availed herself to every opportunity that we've been able to provide for her. She's attended parenting classes, counseling herself. Her kids have been enrolled in our charter school here. And to see them today is such a night and day difference. The last thing that we would want to do for that family is to rush them off so their abuse and trauma can continue someplace else. But our philosophy here is to give people time, to give people dignity, to provide a sense of community where we have a relationship that changes them. The best way for us to get involved really is to go to fresnomission.org, and there's a number of opportunities there. We're a nonprofit. Because of the nature of our work, we don't get any government support. And so we really do rely on people's generosity and their donations that help us, keep the lights on, feed the mouths, as well as do the amazing work that we do with counseling and education and all these different things. We have some very ambitious projects that are really going to raise the game. But as we go into the next phase, the dealing with those foster youth, the transitional age youth, to youth who are being trafficked, as we look at some more of these vulnerable populations and again, try and build the infrastructure, my hope is that the legacy that I will leave is really more of a reflection of our mission. We want to glorify God in everything that we do. I hope that when people look at Fresno, they look at what we do here, they think of this community as that one community in the United States that cares for its most vulnerable, unlike any other. I'm Dildine, and this is how I'm helping members of our Central Valley build their legacy.